Okay, Taurus, welcome into your video. Okay, let's see what's going on here for you guys. Lovers, Five of Wands. See what's going on for you guys this third week of July. All right, Taurus. Let's get serious here. All right, third week of July for my Taurians. What's the situation for Taurus, please? What's the situation? Sometimes I'm quiet, guys, because I'm just like focusing on the download. You're stressing. You're worrying. Some of you are dealing with an Aries. You're thinking about ghosting. I don't know what's happening here. You're doing something, maybe an affair. You go single to commitment in a hot flash. What are you worried over? This person looks available. This person doesn't, of course, they don't have to be an Aries. This is, if I'll put it in perspective for work too, because everyone's like, oh, why don't you read for work? Because the cards read for all energies. So if I read you the card, you as discerning adults will know where to place them in your world. Now, with that said, moreover, the energies and the feelings you're having is that you're having stress. You're having anxiety. You're having sleepless nights. Each one of those swords that you're like, oh my God, represents a problem for you. Represents an issue. One is your kids. One is your finances. The other one's where you're going to live. The other one's what you're going to do. The person that you're dealing with. The toxic situation. Nine of Swords. They're all over the fucking place. But this person, upright, which is good. They're here for it. They're here for you. I don't know what the deal is. If this is work related, that's your boss. If it's not your person, as in a relationship romantically, then it's a father or a father figure. And you're worried about them or over them. Of course, it can be vice versa. They could be worried about you. But I see the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. We skippy doodle out of something and we go single and then we're like, shh, quietly we just like tiptoe into a relationship. How do you fall into that? You have it lined up, Taurus? What's going on? No, I'm just messing with you. All right. We got to make light of these things. If we don't joke about our circumstances sometimes and we keep it so serious, it's fucking tragic then. And I refuse to believe life is this tragic. All right, let's continue. What's coming in for Taurus, please? What is this? Two of Wands in reverse. You're afraid of risking something or you're afraid of going back. But lately I've been reading this card a little unusually different. Two of Wands. Let me explain. Upright, it means you're looking out into your future. You're ready to rock and roll. You're ready to leave everyone and everything behind. Nothing's lined up. You don't care. You're just wondering what else is out there. Let me go explore and put down roots, right? But in the reverse, it means you're doing a U-turn. It means you're going backwards. It means you're not willing to risk something. So you don't do it. Keeps you kind of stuck in place. But lately I've been reading it kind of differently for me. And I feel like because of all these energies with the planets, with all these four of them that are going retrograde actually, is making me feel these retrograde feels. Same for you. Everyone's going to feel these retrograde feelings. What am I talking about? You made a plan. You're going forward. You're on that agenda. And then all of a sudden your mind is like, but maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should do that thing I'm used to, I'm comfortable with. That's the retrograde. And that is like what the universe does to us to weed out the real believers in what we want out of our life. And the movers and the shakers, the ones who are making those evolutionary changes within each other to help along. Others, they're going back to class. They're going back for the lessons. You feel me? Okay. Now, with the Two of Wands, I've been seeing it as not looking back. Seeing what's there, looking at it clearly, and saying, okay, this is what I'm going to leave behind. And then I'm going to go forward because I do have a plan. So I'm praying to God it's the latter. And I'm saying it like this because I see the Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And the Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck is leaving something that was really troubling, very difficult for you. That stress, and going into something easier, smoother. Easy sails ahead. Now, let's continue and see what Taurus doesn't see coming their way. And guys, you do have some luck in your sector. And a lot of it is relying on your relationships and seeing things clearly. But with these retrogrades, we get exes coming back, or we think about our exes, or we just, our minds play tricks on us and makes us think about the past. Or, basically doubt ourselves. And a lot of it has to do with like Saturn that's going through Aries than Pisces, where you'd rather go through Aries than Pisces because Pisces going through there is like being a little delusional. Where going through Aries, it's taking action. See, Saturn is a disciplinary type of planet. It teaches you how to be methodical, how to be disciplined, taking action behind it, especially with Aries, because Aries is an action-oriented planet. But because it's going retrograde back into Aries, that's what's happening. Discipline plus action. Going ahead and doing what we want, but being diligent about things. Here's the new love. I mean, wow, is it shocking to see it in your reading? No, never. You guys attract love like magnets. And look at the bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords. And then under that is Ten of Swords. It's like you're telling the truth here to somebody or something, and you're putting your cards on the table, and then there's an ending and a betrayal. For a lot of you, I feel like you're doing it, Taurus. You're telling somebody goodbye, no thank you. And it might feel like a betrayal to them, or even a betrayal to yourself. But others of you, I don't know how I can fault anybody with an Ace of Swords upright, because that's what Uranus and Gemini does to us. It is that type of influence, because Gemini is a communicative planet. And with Uranus going there, it's a disruptive planet. It blurts out shit and causes a fuss. And you know what? We haven't seen the likes of this in 86 years. Last time we saw it, there was an uprising called the American Civil War. And that, if you can see what's going on in our world today, we're on the brink of another one. But if I was to downplay it in our tiny worlds, our lives, it's people being outspoken now and really saying how they feel about things. And this truth, this reality, this dynamic changes and shifts the whole collective. I'll put it to you this way. It's like an eye-opener. Remember when we first had Trump being elected into office those many years ago, and then you had Trumpism, whatever. This is like the first test when this planet was trying to come in and say to us, hey folks, this is a taste. And back then you had a huge divide of people. I call it the Great Schism, the Trumps versus the Nots, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just using this as an example. I'm not talking about my party affiliation and how I feel about politics. I'm just using it as an example. What I'm trying to tell you, do you remember how the reaction of people were back then? Right? There was the Great Schism. To everybody, it was an eye-opener, how differently people felt about things. But things that people you knew your whole life. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't know you felt that way. That's the example I'm trying to give you here. This is what's happening now in this month. People are going to start doing that again. And this time, this has been a burning fever, getting to the point of a boiling point, where for you, trust me, I promise you, Taurus, this is something that you will win out. You will win this war, because you've taken certain steps from 6 months ago to last year, I want to say, that brought you to this point. And you've been patient and you've been diligent. And now here you are getting rewarded with those things. Might not seem that way, but it will be. Now, with this Ace of Cups here, you are having new love. I don't know if it's a fresh new start or it's a brand new person, but here it is. This could also be a job in something you will love to do. It's talking more about the feeling than it is talking about money or finance, okay? What is the advice here for Taurus, please? Where to a lot of people, this could be the abundance. What do I mean? I've decided to give up my corporate life for the next 4 months and just work on this. Just doing YouTube, just doing readings because I love this. Am I going to go broke? Probably. But guess what? I love doing this. So I'm following my heart. This is an Ace of Cups for me, right? This is what I'm talking about. It's a sacrifice, but in a different kind of way. This is about getting that loving feeling. And to everybody, everyone's priorities are different, right? It's just all about what you want out of this life, Taurus. Because look at you. Look at you in your advice position. It's talking about you on an independent level, focusing on yourself. What's going to bring you the stability and happiness that you deserve or need, right? Because it's telling you, come back home. You can't be an air sign. You can't be a water sign. You're not going to be a fire sign anymore. You're going to be you. You're going to be an earth sign because you're nurturing, you're loving, kind, caring. When you are you, this is the best version of yourself. Come back to the best version of yourself. All right? It's time to put down roots here. The way you are, the way that makes you feel good. What is the outcome of the week, please? Oh my God, do I love it. All right, we have major arcanas here to talk about. Aries, Sagittarius. We got some fires all over here. Now, with the World and the Fool, you are taking a leap of faith and a risk, and you're starting a brand new chapter. Some of you are literally moving across the globe, across the world, or taking a world travel trip. That's literal. And you're risking it and you're like, fuck it. This is funny. This reminds me of the card, your oracle card from last week from Shadow and Light. What it means to have true freedom. Having any kind of freedom in love, in finances, in your body, like being physically fit, traveling, whatever. It all requires a sacrifice. Nothing is free in life. Nothing. Nothing at all. And it's funny, like, you know, these memes that I follow, this old lady on Instagram, they talk about, like, some guys asking her, oh, she's a gold digger. She's like, honey, every woman is expensive. Just find one in your budget and roll with it. And that is the truest thing anyone could say. It's the same thing with a person, and it's the same thing as a man. Let me tell you, women out there, every man is expensive. What are you willing to give up to have that expense? Or is that expense worth it for you? It's vice versa for all, men or women, right? So you've got to think to yourself, what's worth the risk? Because you're taking one at the end of the week with the Fool. You're closing a cycle, a chapter of your life, and you're taking that leap, which I love. That is so not you, but I'm loving it. Because even if you do, Taurus, do this risk that you're doing, nobody said you can't go back and course correct, fix shit, or start over. At least you're following your dreams, your heart, your passion for life. All right, let's continue. People are allowed to make mistakes is what I'm trying to say. But for once, you're not just somebody there always constantly doing the right thing for everybody else and you've been a doormat and I'm the welcome sign. And no, this is going to change now. All right. And Uranus in Gemini is going to make you more vocal. And then what's going to happen here is your inside is going to come and appear on your outside. And people are going to be like, well, you're so different. Who is this? Who are you? I'm like, I'm finally being me. This is what's happening here. Why is, tell me about the Emperor over there in the Nine of Swords, please. You're holding on to something or someone. Job, money, a person, a relationship. Yeah. It could be a marriage or a commitment or a job that pays you very, very well. Wow. You're holding on maybe even to a memory where you were a happy couple. All right, say this is work, right? 10 of Cups over here talks about you love them and they love you. You're in the right environment. You all get each other. It's just happy-go-lucky vibes with a lot of money from this job, right? You're holding on to that or that dream. But now you have stresses because of what your boss is telling you. Love. You're holding on to this dream, this what it was or what it is that you want. You want to be a happy couple and married, and you're holding on to it. I don't know if you were married, are married, used to be happy, whatever. You're holding on to that. Whatever is going on in that world of yours, you're taking action towards it. But you're freaking out because there's another person involved. What is the Two of Wands? Now that's just situation. Now let's get into the future stuff. What is the Two of Wands in reverse? I see you with the retrograde saying to yourself, maybe I shouldn't risk it. You're left out in the cold right now, and that's why you're thinking that way. Or at least I'm assuming, because I've seen the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is like being left out in the cold. Losing a job, losing money, losing a relationship, whatever, you're feeling it. But that's the clarifier. So you're not willing to take a risk to be left out in the cold. This is what you're worried about. You're trying to remain positive and hopeful. But you know what? Maybe the universe is seeing you do that shit. So they're like, well, hold on. I got a new opportunity for you, Taurus. What you going to do with it? What's the Ace of Cups here, please? Okay, I'll tell you what it is, and you'll know what it is. I sound like a crazy person, I know. But it'll make sense in a minute. Okay, I can see it all back there. Your Ace of Cups is whatever the challenges, the blocks, and the obstacles that you were having, Taurus, they fade away when you get this new opportunity. Because when this new opportunity comes into you, Taurus, you're going to be like, well, that's it. That was like my hot mess. Now I don't see the hot mess. Like I see a path forward, right? With this King of Wands, this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They don't have to be a fire sign, but they sure as hell behave like one. They're very attractive, or they're very sexy to you. There's a lot of chemistry, a lot of passion, a lot of fire. But moreover, they're here for it because they're in the upright position. When I see a king in the upright position, this means the opposing energy, male or female, they want you. They're here for the relationship because they're a king, okay? They're a king. They're serious. So there's nothing wrong here, and I see the blocks and obstacles melting away regarding this, right? And I see you taking some action at the bottom of the deck towards this. Find the stability in this, okay, is what it's telling you, and find you again in your advice position. Please clarify the Queen of Pentacles. Six of Cups is here. The past was beautiful. The past was nice, right? But it's onward and upward from there. It's time to move because you have the Six of Cups, which talks about the past or past person, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. It's time to move forward and get yourself unstuck. It's time to move. Get on your little horsey and ride along. Find your stability in this. I see the Commitment card at the bottom of the deck and you being hopeful. What's the outcome? Why is the Fool here? And the World. Some of you guys are just leaving it all behind and you're saying, you know what? I don't need anything lined up. I'm going to go out there and do me. Others of you, you're taking a risk of some kind and moving forward with your life regardless. You're moving into your future and you're starting a new chapter. That's for sure. Because that's the common thread from this combination. You are upgrading or you're thinking about an upgrade of some kind. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. You're waiting for something or something to happen, right? But there's this upgrade happening with you and something else. Or I don't know if you're moving into a nicer house, nicer digs. You're upgrading a relationship with someone, a job. But the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is what's making it interesting. Why is that here? What stopped working? Oh, you did. You stopped working towards something, a goal, a path, something that you had invested a lot of time and energy in. I think you're taking a moment to decide for yourself. That's why you're taking this risk. That's why you're jumping ahead with life. But it doesn't look like you're going backwards. It looks like you're going upwards, especially with the Four of Wands, because it looks like you're laying down a foundation of some kind for your future. Alrighty. What are you seeing here in regards to love for Taurus? Why did everybody get this? Literally everybody. Forgiving and learning. You guys had some shit growing up, didn't you? Guys, you know, the baby boomers and generation whatever after that, they were some weird, fucked up relationships. And unfortunately, we grew up with those relationships from our parents. And we assumed that's what, you know, love was. Some of them had it, some didn't. Some were even arranged. But, you know, it's like unlearning all that shit. And the way you're unlearning is by forgiving them because they didn't know any better. They had their own slow growth of evolution with relationships. There was no internet. There was no cyber stalking. It's different. It's just different for us, you know. So I guess I'm coming up with excuses on how to forgive some of our parents. Like some of them were deadbeat dads or deadbeat moms or non-existent moms. And that, you know, puts an effect on everybody on an emotional level on how they handle relationships. Whether they have avoidant issues or abandonment issues or you just get it. But you're getting forgiving and learning. As you release these energies, you learn love. This is also maybe your partner, your ex-partner, your exes or whatever. Past life relationship, you know, you have known each other from the past. I think you have a karmic also here on your hands who have taught you quite a bit. Some of you, this to me also could be a twin flame. We'll see in the extended. Okay, let's move on. Let's get a card from the unicorns. And that's a wrap, folks. Let's see what's going on here for Taurus, please. Ooh, lightning bolt. Why? Figure shit out on your own. Ooh, that's okay. You could come to me. All right, guys. That's what I have for you. I hope this helped. I'll see you on the next one.